Where politics meets common sense. This is Nightcaps with Nate.
Coming to you live from just outside the swamp of the nation's capital. Get ready for invigorating talk, commentary, and debate on the issues affecting your life. Grab your favorite drink. It's Nightcaps with Nate. Now, here's Nate.
Hey, welcome to Nightcaps with Nate. I am Nate, and on with me is Jasper. He's looking down right now, but there he is. He's playing on his phone. He's getting ready for the show. Hey, it's a Monday night edition. I am so glad. I love Mondays because, I had Saturday and Sunday off, and then I just feel like there's so much that I got to talk about. So we have a full show tonight. It is going to be loaded, chock full of quick items today. So, Jasper, how you doing, man? Don't forget you're on mute.
I'm doing good.
There you are. Go dogs, huh?
Go dogs.
Oh, speaking of dogs, guess what? Starting September 4th, we are going to start a Nightcaps and Nate Friday Night Lights edition. We're actually going to go over all the top 25 football and NFL. So sometimes I guess you could be on the show too if you want to talk about it. It can't just be that. What's up, Kathleen? How you doing? Hey, don't forget to like or follow our page and go to YouTube and subscribe there as well. We are well up past our 100 subscribers, so we got our custom URL. We are growing day in and day out, and we are loving life over here in the Nightcaps Nate world. So how was your weekend?
Mine was pretty good.
What'd you do?
Mine was pretty good.
Was it nice over there in Chicago?
No, it's rainy and chilly.
Ugh. Yeah, it's coming our way. We got that now coming our way. Scott said UGA sucks. By the way, Scott, who just commented, he is going to be the permanent co-host for that show. Him, and we also have a Bulldogs fan, Dave Adams, who's going to be on that show. That's Whitley's dad.
There you go, Dave.
And he's going to represent that. But we're going to talk about all top 25 teams. So Michigan will be up in there. Ohio State, boo, they'll be up in there.
Michigan.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
I'm about to delete you off this screen. I'm going to turn off your video. Nothing. Hey, I'm going for the dogs besides Michigan because Whitley adopted my Lions team, and if she can adopt those perpetual losers, this year is going to be a change. But then we can, then I can adopt the dogs. But for Michigan, I am a Michigan fan. I bleed blue and maize, and for basketball, I'm a Michigan State fan. So, anyways, we'll get off that topic because it is not Nightcaps and Nate Friday Night Lights yet. We have to save that. I will start advertising that. Also coming up this fall is the election, so I expect big things from all my guest hosts. No pressure.
What?
No pressure on myself.
The elections this year?
Yeah, it's this year.
I didn't know that.
Kathleen says I like the hat. Trump 2020 is my favorite one because it's blue. When I grew up in Flint, Michigan, on the side where the gangsters wore blue. So, or the wannabe gangsters or whatever they were, but they were the Blue Jay Boys. And I don't know. I always liked the color blue ever since. Not because I believe in any gang warfare. I do not at all. So, somebody says turn the voltage up. All right. I've got you up higher now. Scott Bosa, can you guys hear me? All right, good. Moving on. So, Whitley and I, we had a decent weekend. Well, Whitley had to work, poor girl, but we had, as usual, something about when Whitley has to work, we have just great weather. And then when she doesn't have to work, the weather sucks. But yeah, I'm the one that keeps saying, hey, let's just sell everything and move to Myrtle Beach, or to El Paso, Texas, where it's sunny, or Tucson, Arizona, or something. And she's the one that says, nope, we are staying here. But, I give her props. She has a long-term goal. She's fiscally responsible because we are building up the equity. We are building lots of savings. I'm proud. We are acting like Republicans. Go Trump 2020. Booyah. Let's get into the news.
All right.
By the way, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Crown Peach and Coke.
Oh, man, you are just like Adams. Well, you love... Did you ever meet Whitley's dad back in the day? You love him.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, he drinks the Crown Apple, so that's too strong for me. All right, here we go. First story of the day. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's a lot of coronavirus, but there's a lot of fun stuff in it, too. We're on our way out. LaDaisha Shari Nicole. Love that, Shari Nicole. She says, hi. All right. New York might have avoided becoming the U.S. epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak if Governor Cuomo hadn't reportedly dismissed shelter-at-home advice. The cracks are appearing. Remember, Cuomo is the god of all the Democrat Party right now. He is like the savior. He is the end-all. He is the best. Everybody loves Cuomo. Blah, 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 blah. Well, his armor is cracking. Apparently, San Francisco Mayor London Breed reportedly shared a copy of the region's shelter-in-place order with New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio in mid-March. De Blasio actually turned out to be right here, which I do not like Bill de Blasio. Just don't even think I'm trying to defend him. And apparently, Governor Cuomo said, no, we can't use stuff like shelter-in-place. Sounds like it's a nuclear apocalypse. And so he dismissed it all, waited till it's too late. You know, New York City's that one city. You know, I'm against all these lockdowns, but if any city's going to do it, New York City's it. Have you ever been in New York City?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
It's very crowded.
Very crowded. Everybody lives on top of each other. They share ventilation. Actually, shelter in place probably hurt them even worse because they do share that ventilation. Yeah. But it's all cracking there. Laura says, hey, what's up? All right. What does this say for his fortunes? I think that with this, that gives just enough ammunition. Trump is going to beat up whoever gets the nomination anyways. I mean, it's presumed that it's Joe Biden, but I believe that Trump's going to hang anything around anybody's neck. And all these polls and all these people that are worried, and the Democrats and Republicans are always worried. They're always scared. Oh, we're going to lose our majority. Oh, you know, they were worried about Trump. Remember, the Never Trumpers come out. Oh, they're just like perpetually worried. A, the press is always going to be against you, Republicans. Just build that into your campaign style. B, Trump at least takes them on. And C, don't worry because Trump hasn't even started to campaign yet. You can already see it coming out little by little, though. They're going to go after Biden with a vengeance.
Now, this ain't 2012 where, you know, Barack Obama's the incumbent president and the media's fawning all over him and moderating the debates, but pretty much debating for Obama during the debates. You know, President Trump, you know, he can say what debate he wants to go to. He can set the venue. He's the president. He's the incumbent. He has to defend his position. So he doesn't have to do a CNN town hall if he doesn't want to. Why? Because he already knows those voters who will be watching the CNN town hall are not going to vote for him anyway.
Exactly.
And all CNN is going to do is try to use it against him. So Trump's smart. He's smart. He's going to wait. He's going to wait for the Democrats to hang themselves. And poor Cuomo, because he tried to use this epidemic as political hay. You know, he tried to raise his stock, and you know, who wants to be the chosen child of the Democratic Party right now? I wouldn't. I don't know who would. You know, because it's not a winning strategy.
If you think about it, the two biggest media whores on the right hand side were McCain and Romney, and that's who ran. 2008 was McCain, and Romney 2012. Guess what? They were worried about what the media thought about him. Trump doesn't care. Now, sometimes I think he should care a little bit more, maybe cut, like I said, cut his Twitter fingers off between his thumbs off between 2 and 6 in the morning. But besides that, the guy goes straight to the people, and his kids, who's handling his messaging online, Don Jr. and Eric, man, they're bright, man. They are Trump with a good mind.
Eric looks a little scary, but Don, I like Don. I like Don Jr. a lot.
The one thing I do give Trump credit for, and we don't give him a lot of credit here on this show because sometimes he does say some stupid stuff. Rory McIlroy, the golfer, I had it on my show the other night. He went after Trump, and Trump actually handled it with some gravitas. He said Donald Trump has a surprising, this is the headline in the Huffington Post, by the way. Huffington Post, no friend of Trump or any Republican. Donald Trump has a surprising response to golfer Rory McIlroy's criticism. President Donald Trump made an unusual play Sunday after golf star Rory McIlroy teed off on the president's handling of the coronavirus and said he wouldn't play with him again. Trump uncharacteristically didn't swing back at the four-time major winner when NBC's Mike Tirico mentioned McIlroy's criticism. He did a phone interview. He said, quote, a lot of pro golfers are very political, actually. Some like my politics very much and probably some don't. I guess the ones that don't, I don't get to see as much, but they seem to like it. And he left it at that. Holy cow. You think somebody's managing him right now because it's election season?
Look at President Trump go. Yeah. I mean, and the closer we get to the election, the more it's going to... Good Trump is unbeatable.
Good Trump is
unbeatable. You know, it's when he starts to say things that you're like, oh, why? You know, but good Trump is unbeatable.
He is. And here's the thing. He can still, because he made a very pointed statement there, but you can do things backhanded like that without having to go and bam, bam, bam for the what's that artery called up here, the carotid or whatever, without going Yeah, well, I'm going for the jugular. Thank you. You know, he can just slice them and dice them. That's the Don that I like. That's the Don of the 1980s and 90s who even Democrats respected, right? Oh, go Trump. Yeah. If you're watching, go Trump. Oh, by the way, Trump, if you're watching, please re-blast out on your Twitter feed, Nightcaps and Nate. I have 300 million viewers in no time. Yes, please make sure to share and start your own watch parties. But if you are watching on a watch party and you want to comment, I am monitoring the comment feed on the actual Nightcaps and Nate stream, and I will mention your comments. And for the most part, I'm getting some of these the emoji like, huh, from your friend or sister Ladeshi. How do I say it?
Ladeisha. Yeah. She. I'm trying to bring her over to the dark side. You know, she's apolitical right now, but I'm trying to swing her over to my side.
Well, you know what? Black females have been pretty entrenched. African American females, only about 4% of them approve of Trump, but black males, for some reason, are coming over in droves, man. It could shape this election. Yep. All right. Here's the people. Now, like I say, every time I talk about China, I'm not talking about Chinese Americans. Do not go out and harm any Chinese Americans. Chinese Americans are just as American as you and I, okay? I'm not talking about the Chinese people. They're probably all good people. I'm talking about Winnie the Pooh, the dictator over there. President Xi Jinping Xi, or whatever his name is, right? He has the gall to come out, and he spoke at the World Health Organization. The reason why Trump has cut off funding to them is because they're pretty much the media arm right now of China. But Xi comes out and defends China's response, offers vaccine when ready, says that they've been very transparent. What are you talking about, guys? Throughout the coronavirus crisis, and offered to share a vaccine as soon as one is available, as well as, hey, if you quit being mean to us, we'll give you $2 billion in aid. Payoff. You know why? Because a lot of countries are reevaluating, including here. They're reevaluating their aid to China. Not aid, I'm sorry. Their business with China.
No. And they should, because when China went down, when China closed up, the entire world market closed up because most of the goods flow in and out of China.
Yeah, supply chain.
A lot of the world's goods flow in and out of China. You know, when I was younger, I never understood what does the price of rice in China have to do with the price of oil in, you know, this country. And now that I'm old, I'm like, it all makes sense because everything goes through China. Everything goes through China.
Right.
So because their labor, China has one thing going for it. One thing that the world doesn't have going for it, and that's cheap labor. China doesn't care. China doesn't care about labor laws. They don't care about pollution, the citizens' rights. They don't care about pollution. They don't care about any of that. So you go into China, you open a business, you open a factory in China, where you would spend $30 million a year in this factory in the United States. You'll spend probably $15 million a year in this factory in China. Yeah. You know, and that's minimalist. That's minimalist technology. So China had everything going for it until the world figured out, hey, if we don't know what's going on in China and something happens and we lose the Chinese workforce, we lose the Chinese economy, we're screwed. We're screwed because there's no safety net there.
Additionally, even let's just say it wasn't China's fault this time. When you have all your eggs in one basket and it gets hit, then that's it. Now, China does not have labor laws. You're right. In fact, China, instead of paying out welfare, even though they're a communist country, so they should be everybody on welfare, right? They will sit there and force people to move from the country into the cities to man the factories. They have a labor shortage. They say, hey, sorry, get your stuff, pack up, we're moving you. And they'll actually move them to the city, to these huge cities that they have. I mean, think about it. Wuhan, the city, has 11 million people. That's more than our New York City. And that's just one city in China. Okay, so they'll move them all into city. Right. I mean, it's just crazy. But we should not have had all of our eggs in one basket, and we especially shouldn't have it in China's basket. We have India, Vietnam, Taiwan. We have all these other countries that have cheap labor as well, where we can pay an extra penny so that maybe they'll have better labor laws or less pollution, but extra penny or two per dollar store. Maybe it has to be the $1.25 store now or something, you know, but we got to get off the tip of China. We just can't do it. Oh, guess what? Big surprise. Big surprise. Places that reopened, did they have a spike in coronavirus? Well, according to our health secretary, no spike in coronavirus in places reopening. The U.S. health secretary says, this is from Reuters, again, no friend of Trump. Authorities are not seeing spikes in coronavirus cases in places that are reopening, but are seeing increases in some areas that remain closed. Why is that? U.S. Health Secretary Alex Azar said on Sunday, we are seeing that in places that are opening, we're not seeing the spike in cases, but quite the opposite. In places that remain closed, they are. Why? Because people are hunkered down together. And now when they hunker down, what are they doing? They're bringing over friends and family, and they're just basically spreading it without the open air and the vitamin D and the beautiful sunshine and all that stuff going on. Guess what, people? Get out. Quit being scared. Quit being scared. We're going to see something in a minute here. Fact check from USA Today. From USA Today, let's see. Let's go to that one real quick because it's so good. Did you know that Woodstock did happen during a pandemic?
Yep.
Did you know that? So they fact checked it because a lot of the conservatives are saying, hey, man, if they can have Woodstock during their pandemic, why can't we just have a baseball game, right? Now, we're talking Woodstock. Remember, hundreds of thousands of people crowded into some nasty field, right?
They were doing more than crowding in there. They were
banging it out, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free love, baby. Did Woodstock take place? USA Today did a fact check. They said the Woodstock Festival of 1969 did occur amid a global pandemic, and no stay-at-home orders were in force. However, the concept of social distancing was not yet accepted. Come on. This wasn't 1918. This is 1969. Of course they knew what social distancing was. They just chose not to do it. Why? Because who was the president during that time? But I did the numbers, and guess what? Guess which one was more deadlier? That thing, that pandemic that we never hear about? Oh, by the way, guess what it's called? The Hong Kong flu. Is that racist? Was that racist in 1969 to call it the Hong Kong flu? Why can't we call this the Wuhan flu or the Kung flu or whatever, right? But
Kung flu.
Why are people wearing face masks while still outside? I do not know, Liza. Amber says, so why can't Whitmore get off her high horse? I agree. So, in today's numbers, there was 202 million people at that time in our country. There are now 330 million, right? In today's numbers, that flu killed 165,000 Americans if you adjust per capita, and 2 million worldwide. Guess how many deaths we've had worldwide so far? And this is almost over.
What, about 300,000?
I'm about to get the true number right now. 320,000 as of this morning. 320,125. So we have quite a bit to catch up just to that. And guess what they didn't do? Guess what they did not do? They didn't shut down the whole world economy.
Nope.
They didn't throw us into a not only a recession, but a Great Depression. That's where we're going to. Folks, you have not seen it yet. If we don't open up this economy now, we may be able to get away with just a recession, a Great Recession. If we don't get this economy open now, worldwide, we are going to be in a Great Depression, and it's all not our fault. It's all the liberal government's faults, because all the conservative government, including governors in our own thing, but conservative leaders across the world, they're actually keeping their stuff open, Brazil and all that. And they're saying, yeah, we just got to suck it up and get a herd vaccine. All right. Bottom line, let's open the world back up. But there is good news. Good news. Today, Moderna's coronavirus vaccine just showed signs of success in a preliminary study, raising early hopes in the fight against the pandemic. Moderna on Monday released the first human results from trials of its coronavirus vaccine in a small number of healthy volunteers. Moderna vaccine helped create immune response good enough to create to protect you from the virus. So
both strains or just the most recent one?
Coronavirus period. Yeah, I mean, just these strains. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see the comments online. Are you willing to get the vaccine when it comes out? Yes or no? Just type in yes or no. I guess you can put a hell no on there if you want, or heck yes. But I'd like to see what people say about if they are going to get this vaccine when it comes out. And the second question is, will you get this vaccine if it's the only way that you can get out and get back to work? You know what it's going to do? Dave Adams actually said it earlier today when we were watching. I just said, I stimulated the economy today. Thank you. And Taylor Locke. Dave Adams said while we were watching this on TV, it's very smart because guess what? If we get this vaccine out in early fall, not only is Trump going to be like, wow, we got a vaccine out in super duper time and he can brag about it, but then there's no more excuse for all the mail-in voting, and we can stop the illegal voting.
Oh, I got a text about mail-in voting today. It said the safest way to keep your family healthy is to participate in mail-in voting. And it was because I'm not in Hawaii anymore, but it was for the Hawaii primary coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that too. I mean, we had that for the West Virginia that you could get a mail-in ballot if you want, but for the primary. I'm talking about the election, man. The actual election, I do not. Hey, if we need an ID card to buy what we drink here every night, then I don't see why we can't do that. If we can stand in line at Walmart and Target and for takeout food, I don't see why we can't. So Amber says no. Liza says she doesn't get the flu vaccine, but she doesn't know. Russell says taking a lot of vitamins, especially D, C, and zinc, is supposed to help keep your immune system strong. So, he'll stay in shape and sleep. So I guess that's a no because he says I'll do what I want to. You know what? That's the problem. There was an article out. I don't know if I have it on these slides, but the Washington Post was complaining that we are just too free. That pesky freedom that we believe in is why we will never get past this coronavirus. And damn this freedom. We need to quit being so rebellious. So guess what? We were founded on rebellion. We were founded on the fact that the monarchy in England wouldn't even let us worship who we wanted to. If you're a Catholic, they could put you to death. If you're a Protestant, a different type of Protestant than Anglican, they could put you to death. That was the whole point of our freedom. That's why we have a Second Amendment. Go ahead.
What's going on with these news organizations and these talking heads talking about America's too in love with their freedoms? Like, that is like 50 years ago, they would have been dragged behind a store and beat down if they would have said something as communist. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we're Americans. We are obsessed with our freedom. That's the whole basis of our entire nation is freedom. Freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of entire our nation. Yes, we're obsessed with freedom. We're not going to have somebody come in and say, "Hey, you have too many freedoms. I think I know more than you. This is what's best for you." No, that's not how America works. America never worked that way.
No. Amber says I prefer to be free. Ladacia says most vaccines take years before they are approved for use. Yeah, I mean that is usually the case. When they were saying 18 months, they thought no way. Usually vaccines take 10 years to be developed and come through. They used to hunt and burn witches. That's true. They used to hunt and burn witches. Not only that, they would have this test that you couldn't pass. They'd throw a witch in the water, and if she drowned, that means we messed up. If she could swim, then she was a witch. I mean, it was like no win there. I mean, and you know what? Here's what bothers me, right? I see on the Michigan sites and stuff, a lot of African Americans who are like, oh, you guys are idiots if you're going against these stay-at-home orders. Well, okay, the ones online like that, then I see in Brooklyn and stuff where they're having huge parties. So, but the ones that I debate with, a lot of them are Black Americans. If anybody should be about not trusting government, the same government that enslaved them, their forefathers, the same government that just when I was talking to Dave Adams when he was a little boy, in Georgia, they still had a black school and black and white water fountains. You would think that they would be the most like, I'll be free if I want to.
They're drinking out of the fountain of the Democratic Party. I had a debate with one of my former teachers. He's a school superintendent now, but yesterday he was talking about Trump, and it was about the Obama commencement speech, which was trash. But I was telling them, Obama used that speech as a indoctrination, trying to indoctrinate the 18, 19-year-old students who were graduating about socialism and all that stuff. And he was like, no. Obama's classy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, Obama did, we got went down the rabbit hole of Obama didn't really do anything. And he, pretty much I got called Uncle Tom, Coon, what would they call me? Uncle Ruckus. I don't know if you know Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. Then it's like, I can't, I'm so sad that you're a black man, you're raising black kids and you believe this, you're misguided. I'm like, why am I misguided? Because I have a brain. I can think for myself.
Right.
Like, I'm misguided because I don't believe what you believe. Like, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad that you're everything you're spewing to me is things you regurgitated from watching CNN and MSNBC. Why? Because sometimes I watch those channels just to see what they're saying. And yes, if I watch those channels 24 hours a day, I'd hate President Trump too, because everything out of their mouth is a liberal talking point, negatively slanted about Donald Trump. There's no unbiased journalism going on at those news organizations now.
No.
They're all biased, and
they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Not even trying to hide it anymore.
Not even trying to hide it.
They don't even put on, it used to be that, in Fox still does it, where they'll still put on one or two liberals on a panel, that there's a counterpoint, but they don't even try to hide it on those news networks. Now, everybody's going to say, a lot of people might say, well, what's the difference here, man? You got two conservatives on here, you got a black one and a white one, and then where's the liberal at? sometimes I do put liberals on here, but this is an opinion show. This is not a news show. This is an opinion show.
Yeah.
On the hard news shows on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, whatever, they should have representatives from both sides. CNN actually used to be pretty fair. Until it came to Trump, they were actually decently fair. And they had both sides on the panels. And still sometimes they do, but now they don't even try. They don't even pretend. Don Lemon actually used to, and Anderson Cooper and all them used to be real journalists. I mean, as real as possible. They're both obviously had a hidden agenda, but you know what? I like how Trump took the steam out of people today. He says he's actually been taking the hydroxychloroquine to prevent COVID-19 for weeks and a half. He says good things are being said about it. I would never. Basically, what he just did is say, hey, if the president of the United States is doing it, then I'll do it. There was a vaccine. I forgot what president it was. Maybe it was Jimmy Carter or somebody. But he went in and actually got the polio vaccine or whatever vaccine, measles vaccine himself during a big uproar of vaccines, just to show that, hey, if it's safe enough for me to do it, yeah, I'll put my money where my mouth is. He put his body on the line. Neil Cavuto, he comes out today and says, are you crazy? You're playing with your life, Mr. President. But come on, this thing's been out for 60 years. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, this drug is not, everybody acts like this is like some new and novel drug. People chew it like candy in Africa where malaria is present. Rheumatoid arthritis patients who have an immune system attacking its own immune system take it to calm their immune system down. He said he's taking 1 dose of Z-Pack antibiotic, is taking a zinc supplement, along with the hydroxychloroquine. And people act like, man, on the left, they're just going ape crap. It's so much to the point that I saw a comment today from a leftist. I said, man, as much as I disagree with President Obama, I'd never wish him dead. Because he was like, well, I guess if COVID doesn't get him, maybe this will. Why would you wish the president dead? The liberal left is just unhinged. But go ahead.
Unhinged, yeah. Well, hydroxychloroquine is nothing but a cell shield. It's a shield for your cells to not allow infections in your cell. And coronavirus attacks the cells in the lungs. So what hydroxychloroquine does, it's not going to help you if you're already sick. If you're already on the respirator, it's too late to take hydroxychloroquine. Why? Because the virus is already in your cell. Hydroxychloroquine is used as an early treatment when you first get diagnosed with COVID in an effort to prevent the virus from entering the cells in the lungs. That's why the doctors in France, touted it so large before, the president started touting it, because it's a shield. So when people say this is untested, it's unproven, no, it's not untested. It has been tested. It has been proven for 60 some odd years as an anti-malaria drug, to prevent that bacteria from entering the body. So I don't understand why. So even Fox News, everybody's accusing conservatives of getting their news from Fox News. If you watch Fox News lately, it's not Fox News that most people think it is. It's lost its way, I would say.
I wouldn't
Fox
say
News
so.
has lost its way.
I wouldn't.
I say Fox News. I like Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson's great.
He's fair.
Yeah,
he's
the
fair.
five. I like the 5, but I like their hard news. You know why? The hard news actually presents both sides. If you want the most fair news, go to 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. your time, and watch Brett Baer and his show. That's actually the most fair. I get people like, oh my God, Fox lost his way. Well, Fox used to have a slogan saying, we report, you decide. That way they present both sides of the coin. And that's what made them so big. So I think that when they got too conservative, I think that they lost their way because, Hannity is really just a mouthpiece for the president of the United States. And I don't think that's always helpful. I think that Tucker takes on the president sometimes. Other people take on the president. The 5. And I think that real advice, the president might get mad, but the real advice comes from your friend sometimes. If I'm eating too much, sometimes Dave has to say, he's my father-in-law, he lives with me, he might have to say, hey, Nate, put the oatmeal cream pie down. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? My wife sometimes says, Nate, maybe you don't need another drink. And I have to listen to her, right? Because that's sometimes friends have to tell you the hard thing. All right? All right. But while all this is happening during your lockdown, Michigan, congratulations. Your vaccination rates for something that's very, very catchy called the measles, mumps, and rubella have fallen down by 20% amid this coronavirus pandemic, suggesting U.S. kids could be less vulnerable. In other words, the numbers of children getting vaccinated has plummeted to below 50% in Michigan, and you guys are no longer going to have herd immunity against something as curable or preventable as measles, mumps, and rubella. And by the way, yes, measles can kill you, can kill your children. It's about 2 in 1,000, but let's say 40,000 kids get it in Michigan. You're looking at, what, 80 deaths? It's still
probably
80 kids that could have done. And by the way, it isn't just if it can kill you, it's if your life is miserable and if you're disfigured and stuff. I'm not sure all that measles can do to you, but you know, this is that's
blind.
Why did I bring this up? The whole point of this is that a lot of people have undiagnosed cancers right now, undiagnosed everything, because people have been doing telehealth. Telehealth is not a replacement for medicine. Telehealth is an emergency thing. Like, hey, I'm stuck in the on a deployment in Zaire somewhere, and there's no physician around. Maybe I can get on, send some blood work to my doctor, and they can kind of look at my face or a bump on my skin and see if it's cancer or not. That's telehealth. It does not replace a physical exam. And a lot of stuff, a lot more deaths are going to happen from undiagnosed cancers and diseases in this country than coronavirus. Mark my word. Yep. And suicides and everything else. A lot of people, AA meetings, a lot of relapsing going on. Because AA meetings, you need to be in the presence of humans. This technology is great. I know you, Jasper, only through Zoom and telephone and all that. But when I meet you and you meet me, we're actually going to probably like, wow, you're taller or shorter than I thought you were and all that, Nate, you're a lot sexier than I thought you were. Yes.
That's what you're going to say.
You look great for an old man. Yeah. But
technology is great and all, but you're right. Like I have diabetes. I have type 2 diabetes, and so I'm at risk for coronavirus being potentially deadly to me. That's fine. I understand that. But with diabetes, I just moved to a brand new base. I got a brand new PCM, a primary care physician. And my first visit was a telephone call. A telephone call was my first visit with my oncologist. Endocrinologist. Endocrinologist was a telephone call. That's how they were going to examine me, was through the telephone, asking me questions. You know what I said? No, it's pointless. It's pointless for you to call me on the phone and ask me questions. You don't see me. You can't do a foot test. You can't do a blood test. You can't do anything over the phone. So what am I talking to? What am I going to waste 30 minutes for? Just so you can bill TRICARE and say, hey, because we're out of network here, so they will bill TRICARE for the appointment and say, hey, we have this appointment, but you still going to bill them full price.
For retirees, they're still trying to, or if you weren't using a military physician for telehealth, they're still trying to charge us copays and stuff. And TRICARE finally said, no, we're not going to charge copays for it. We'll just pay all of it. Amber says, I don't get I get the regular shots, not the flu and the cancer one. Amber, I'll tell you the reason why I got my son and my daughters the what's it called? The HPV one is because no matter how celibate or how awesome my kids might be and they might wait till marriage, their partner may not, or God forbid they cheat or something. Not my kids, but the partner cheats, and they can bring. And I know of a girl who died very quickly of cervical cancer, and she was like perfect Christian, but because she may have been a virgin when she got married, the husband wasn't and didn't realize it, and doesn't affect us. We don't even know we have it and pass it on, and then it basically killed her. So, what's up, Samantha? You're late. You owe me census. No, I was playing. She said, yo. In other news, 1/3 of small businesses across the U.S. say they won't reopen, and 55% won't rehire the same workers they let go due to devastation of COVID-19. Facebook survey shows. Guess what? That is all of our fault. That is our government's fault. It's all of our fault. It's China's fault, really. Forget that. I don't blame Orange Man. I don't blame even Cuomo and all that. I blame China. It is their fault. When they first got this, let's mark my words. Everybody says, oh, well, he fired the pandemic team. No, he didn't. Obama started that anyways. Secondly, China came out when the intel was coming in. They asked China, was like, hey, we assure you it does not transfer from human to human. And guess what? They were lying about it. And all those people flew to our country and all over the world. And that is why we have this thing.
One of the biggest scandals in human history. This history is written. That's one of the biggest scandals in human history. For them to shut down travel within their own country, yet allow 5 million people to leave their country and travel around the world.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. None. And then them specifically lying, silencing doctors. They arrested the doctor who originally blew the whistle on coronavirus.
Yeah, disappeared.
He got arrested, forced him to apologize. Then all of a sudden he gets sick with coronavirus and dies.
Yeah.
He's healthy. He's a healthy 30-something-year-old doctor. He dies.
Yeah.
Then another doctor comes out and she's gone.
She's gone, disappeared. Yep. Probably in a re-education camp. Samantha says she can't get it because she's got Guillain-Barré syndrome. Yep, I've heard about that. Dave Dave Birmingham, kid I went to school with, says, come down and join me in Vero Beach. Buddy, I am there. Oh, my Lord, am I there. I know a girl who got that shot, and now she gets seizures. Yes, there's always inherent risk in any shot, but it's so very rare. All right, you can manage seizures. You can't manage cervical cancer. I mean, it's pretty deadly.
No.
But that is for you and your family to make that decision. I'm not here to impose. I'm a libertarian. I give advice. That's why I tell people on Facebook, too. I'm not here to change your mind. I'll just give you my opinion. I'm moving on.
Yeah,
I got people that will go back and forth. Hey, would you trade? White House is exploring. Actually, they're not really. This is an accurate headline, but this is from Fox News. Explores $5,000 coronavirus stimulus check in exchange for delayed Social Security benefits. Would you delay your Social Security by 3 months if you got a $5,000 free, not free cash, but you have $5,000 of it right now?
Depending on how much my Social Security check was every month.
Well, right now it's $1,700, so $1,700 times 3, so it would basically be paying back the Social Security Trust Fund plus a little something maybe. But they're talking about doing that, and it's a way to actually make Social Security solvent if enough people do it. Samantha said they got Clinton. So when we're talking, they're about 30 seconds behind, so they're responding to stuff behind. It's so funny because sometimes their comments are just hilarious. Elijah says, what's Social Security? Social Security is that thing that we're supposed to get when we're 62. So they're saying that we could actually make this thing solvent. We gave everybody $5,000 now and said, hey, everybody, you got to wait 3 months longer. So if you were going to retire at 62 for the partial Social Security, you would retire at 62 in 3 months.
Is it still 62? I thought it was 66 or something like that.
No, for full benefits, the 100% benefits, 67, I think. But then it would be 67 in 3 months. But you'd get $5,000 up front right now so that you can do whatever you want with it. So theoretically, you and your wife could both get $10,000. You just both have to wait 3 more months in order to collect it. I'll tell you what, I'd probably take it. You know why? A, I could put that away in my investment accounts and make way more than what they would make for me anyways. But B,
some people won't be able to do it though.
Well, 3 months? What's 3 more months of working?
If that's their only source of income?
No. This is not for people who already are grabbing Social Security. This is for people like you and I.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, they give you $5,000 now.
Of course I would.
But instead of retiring right on your 62nd birthday or 66th birthday, whatever you choose for the percentage, you would have to wait 90 extra days.
Yeah.
It's an interest-free loan of your thing. A lot of people would take it just because of what Liza's saying. We're never going to see it anyway, so yeah, give it to me now. And it would come out. It does come out of the Social Security Trust Fund. So the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but a spokesperson told the Post that President Trump, quote, has been clear that while he is in office, American people can feel secure without a shadow of a doubt that he will completely protect Social Security and Medicare. End of story, full stop. You know why they're doing that? Because seniors are kind of edging away from the president in some latest polling. So it's kind of weird because a lot of the demographics of the Republican Party are changing with more minorities coming in, but some of the old seniors are kind of moving away.
Well, they're painting a picture that the president doesn't care about them. He just cares about the young and the vibrant and those who can contribute to the economy. And with the news coverage showing that, he wants old people to die, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think they're going to buy it. In the end, he's got so much money in his bank account, he's going to run commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial. I think he does take a chance on alienating the older voters with early onset dementia because he's bringing that up. But he needs to bring it up as, hey, if you had dementia, I am here. We are going to donate so much money to dementia, care and research and stuff, but you do not have any business having the football. That's what he's got to make the case of. So I like Ben Sass. He came out, got a little sassy, play on word. But Ben Sass came out and he was doing a high school thing. He was making some jokes and they kind of fell deaf. Sometimes jokes are better when you have somebody there to laugh with you. Like if I was doing this as a complete monologue and I didn't have you or my co-host, laughing along with me, people would be like, man, this guy's a dork, right?
It's true.
You guys, like, I slip you $5 before the show or a free drink, and you guys laugh at my silly jokes, right? But Ben Sass, he actually came out, he was a little serious, and he said he blames, quote, thugs in China for coronavirus. It's kind of an inaccurate headline, as usual. But what he said is, we're going to beat this virus. We're going to have a serious reckoning with the thugs in China who let this mess spiral out of control by lying about it. That's the full sentence. That's what the media A lot of people go by headlines and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. They don't really read the story. But if you read the story, the full sentence was he wasn't calling them thugs in China as if they intentionally started this thing. What he was saying is the thugs in China intentionally hid this thing. We know that it was probably a mistake that this thing got out. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, and I know some people have different theories, and that's fine. They're allowed to have that. But I believe that this thing accidentally escaped some sort of a laboratory and infected their own people and our people too. But what they did wrong was instead of containing it, they tried to hide it. Nothing worse than that, man. You know, like sometimes if you're in trouble, it's just better to just come out and say, hey, you know what? I stepped on my pecker. I did this, da-da-da-da-da. And you get out in front of it. And a lot of politicians will sit there and lie about it until they finally have to admit it. I think Bill Clinton, until a dress. Had that girl not preserved that dress and not washed it, Monica Lewinsky, he'd still be lying about it today. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, something will come out if you've been lying and makes you look worse, right? That's what happened to China.
Well, a lot of people don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe thugs in China probably, I know that's not what he said, but it probably wasn't the best phrase to use, but it's true. China has a secret police organization. It's not like the Secret Service. A secret police organization, kind of like the Gestapo, where they will literally surround a person's house. And if they are a dissident and they disagree with the government, you know, sometimes they're killed, sometimes they're sent off to re-education camps, sometimes they're just silenced. And they're silenced by not allowing them to have contact with the outside world. Anybody who tries to concede them can't concede them. If they try to go out somewhere, they're not allowed to go out unless they're tailed by the secret police. They literally have these organizations in China, and people don't know that the Chinese people in actual China, not like Shanghai or Hong Kong, you know, but in the areas strongly controlled by the central Chinese government, are living in oppression, and they're repressed. They have repressed thought. Their internet is censored. They don't get the news that we get. Like, it's like,
no, a show like this could never go on.
It's unthinkable to Americans. Yeah,
something like this would never go on. Here's what I don't like about Democrats in our country, because they try these scare tactics. So, you know, Trump's like, hey, look, I'm not giving a big bailout to all these cities and states, especially these sanctuary cities and stuff. And Newsom comes out. This is from the Hill. Newsom says first responders would be the first ones laid off if state doesn't get federal assistance. He said, along with governors across the country, have said that they need the federal aid to help fund many of the frontline workers amid the coronavirus pandemic, including healthcare workers and police. I hope they'll consider this next time they want to salute and celebrate our first responders. Consider the fact that they'll be the first ones laid off by cities and counties. And Senator Tom Cotton came out and he's like, just today, California launched a $75 million program to give cash to illegal immigrants. Perhaps start saving money there before laying off police officers and firefighters. You talk about trying to use...
What a trash bag.
It is a trash bag.
Yeah, a trash bag argument. Yeah.
Right. He's trying to turn the first responders against President Trump. How about this? How about reining in your spending? Quit trying to be socialist and quit sanctuary cities and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know, save your money and put it where it is. That's like a drunken gambler, right? Person who's both an alcoholic and a gambler. Or just pick your poison, either one. And they're going to blame me because they're out of money. Oh, if you don't give me my bailout, my kids are going to starve. Then you know what? Let me have your kids and you can go off and find your own money. I'll feed just your kids, right?
Exactly. It's like pulling a gun on somebody and the barrel's pointed directly at you. Like, how are you going to threaten somebody with something that ultimately comes down to your decision making? Like, President Trump has nothing to do with first responders in California. That's the taxes in the state of California, which are already pretty much second highest in the nation behind New York.
Oh, I got a thing for that. So Governor Abbott was smart, very smart. This is the attack that I've been saying before Trump, long before Trump. I always said, why don't Republicans make a play for inner city voters? Put some billboards up and plaster the airwaves, reminding them that Democrats run 10 out of 10 large U.S. cities with the highest poverty rates, and they've ran them for decades, and nothing's changed, okay? Maybe we should try something else. And Trump called it, what the hell do you have to lose? I thought that was brilliant. But Greg Abbott actually came out with something brilliant, too. He made this little meme here, and it shows the 4 most populous states by the numbers, and it shows California, Texas, Florida, and New York, and it shows that the state income tax in California is 13%, Texas and Florida 0%, New York 8%. It shows that the California budget is $54 billion in debt, and New York is $6.1 billion in debt, even though they have those taxes and the Republicans don't. It shows balanced budgets, and it shows that the COVID rates and death mortality rates, like I have liberals like, well, they're just testing more. Okay, that's why you use mortality. It's a pretty dead-on science, pun intended, by the way. Yeah. Horrible pun during this time. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, it's dead on, right? And and they have a lower mortality rate in each of these things. And it says dine-in restaurants, salons, churches, and gyms. Are they open? And 3 out of the 4 in both the Republican states are, except for gyms, which are filthy. So this is the type of advertisement that Republicans need to do day in and day out. They need to stop trying to play on emotions. Don't try to win with the media. Put out advertisement, and show these kind of graphs that put it out there and say, hey, this is what you could get, and this is what you're getting now. In fact, Flint, Saginaw, Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, name your city. If you're having to walk your dog and your dog is having to walk in human poop, that's wrong, okay? That means you need a change of leadership, not just a change of politician from the same stripes, okay? That means you need a whole total change of direction. Maybe try out a Republican. You know what? Forget it. Try an independent maybe. Try some different ideology, right? I mean, Maryland did it. And I give props. Sometimes I get on Governor Larry Hogan. He's a Republican in Maryland, but he's been elected twice in a highly Democrat state. A state where it's 10-1 Democrats. But he's come together and he's made some good progress there. Now, is he as conservative as I like him to be? No. But a person like me would never get elected in Maryland as the governor, especially twice. You know what I'm saying? But they tried it. They tried something different, at least at the governor level, and he's got high approval ratings across the board. And he's vetoed a bunch of outlandish spending, and he's done pretty good. Governor Chris Christie was a good governor of New Jersey for a long time until he got a little too ahead of himself. He's too brash sometimes. Got caught on his own beach when they shut down all the beaches for, I think, a hurricane or something. Not like he can suggest Roy is a loser. I got mixed feelings on this next story, guys. Mixed feelings. 5 Iran tankers sailing to Venezuela amid U.S. pressure tactics. In other words, they have loaded 5 tankers up openly with $45.5 million worth of gasoline and similar products to take to Venezuela, another country that we have sanctions on, to basically prop up Maduro, and also for Maduro to help prop up Iran because, they're going broke. Part of me says, hey, we're not the policemen of the world. It's time for other countries to take this on. But the other part of me says, hey, man, they are flipping a big old bird towards our sanctions. I don't know where I stand on this, man. I don't think we need to get another war. I don't know if we should be the ones that block the tankers. We might need to go to, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, which is not really much better than Iran, by the way. Maybe Jordan. Someone else can block these tankers and say, no, you're not taking it to Venezuela. Is it really our business anymore? Or should we stand up and say, hey, we're the leader of the free world. We said no. You're not going to put them out there, and pressure them to get back to the table so that we can get them disarmed from nuclear weapons. But I have never seen a place where sanctions work. It hasn't worked in North Korea. It hasn't worked in Cuba. It hasn't worked. Name a place where sanctions have actually worked. And the one place that it did, I guess I could say Libya. We turned on Muammar Gaddafi and supported his people killing him, even though he gave up his nuclear weapons. And I digress.
Well, that was Obama. That was
Obama.
That's a whole another story.
It was a horrible thing.
Another story.
But I'm talking, whether it's President Obama, President Carter, President Clinton, President Bush, Reagan, whoever, it is still our country. I'm not like the left and say, oh, that's your president. No, it's our president. We elected him.
Our president.
He is the leader of our country, so I'm speaking, when you talk foreign policy, we should be talking about the USA. I hate it when they say, well, Trump bombed Iran. No, it didn't. The United States bombed Iran. Trump was the president and made the decision to, so.
My only problem with the Venezuelans sending cash to Iran in exchange for oil, I don't care about the oil or the gas from Iran. I don't care about that. Let Venezuela have their gas, let them have their oil. The money from that transaction is what concerns me, because Iran has been one of the biggest players in the terrorist regimes around the world. And if they get more money, where are they going to put that money? Their people are not getting that money. Their people won't get that money. Their military will get the money. The Revolutionary Guard will get their money. And all the Revolutionary Guard would do is continue to make more bombs, support more organizations, and continue to push terror around the world.
But who's a bigger aggressor, them or China? And we support them with money. Here's the thing. China only reformed itself because we introduced a little bit of capitalism and started talking to them. That's why I was proud when I was actually proud when Obama started talking to Fidel Castro and Raul Castro. Because we can't get anything solved if we quit talking to each other. And that's a problem both the left and the right, is that we quit. And Trump was right. Trump was correct to talk to Kim Jong-un. And he should have maybe taken a different tack with Iran. Now, I support Trump. Don't get me wrong. Wearing the hat. Believe me. Anything but Biden. because Biden would have been horrific on foreign policy. I'd rather had Hillary Clinton than Biden on foreign policy. But yeah, they're both horrible. I'm talking about like, do I want genital herpes versus chlamydia? You know, I mean, one is curable at least, right? I don't have either, by the way. But the problem is that we can't always be the policeman of the world, man. We got to chill out somewhere. And this is where I like Rand Paul. Hey, let somebody else. We lead the way and say, yep, we'll approve the sanctions. We'll help you. But somebody else has got to step in eventually. Because here's another thing. We try to be the policeman of the world. And then what does Germany do? They go and buy a bunch of energy from Russia. And Europe, what do? They go and they use that company we were trying to ban for 5G from China. You know?
Yeah. That's true. I mean, but so I wouldn't call this scenario specifically being the policeman of the world. I would call it in the interest of national security. And the reason I agree with the way Trump has treated Iran is because Iran has consistently
national security.
United States.
No, Israel. United States. That's what we're doing. Is we're protecting Israel, who can take care of themselves.
Okay, it's true. But has Israeli soldiers, I mean, probably, yes, they have. But in the war in Iraq, most of the roadside bombs in Iraq.
Let's stop there. Should we have been in Iraq? No.
That's another question.
Zero zip zilch. We should have went to Afghanistan because they bombed our buildings. But we didn't take out Saudi Arabia, who financed them bombing our buildings. My point is that we have to start telling people, hey, this is your neighborhood. Step up. We will deal with Guatemala, Honduras, anybody on the American continents, right? You guys, we'll back you up if you get overwhelmed, but you guys take care of over there. You know what I'm saying? We got to move on, but that's just my foreign policy.
Yeah.
Do I hear a baby in the background?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay. All right. This is getting into some crappy news. Crappiest guy of the day, Arlington, Virginia, Northern Virginia. Arrested for allegedly throwing 2 dogs from an apartment balcony and they died. This guy right here is the making of Dexter. Have you seen Dexter?
Yes.
Okay. Even his eyeballs show the making of Dexter right there. This guy should be committed to an insane asylum for the rest of his life. Period. All right, anybody who could throw dogs, puppies off a balcony roof and kill them and have those eyeballs, he looks like he's a serial killer. Very
sad, man.
Sick is what it is. Here's another winner right here. Maryland mom busted for leaving kids in locked car to get her nails done. Keontae Moody, 22, allegedly left her 3-year-old girl and baby boy in the locked Honda for an hour. At least she locked the door, I guess. Last week to go first-class nail salon in Randallstown, which is right outside Baltimore, Maryland. Police responding to a call reporting child neglect found the youngster inside with no adult supervision and used the baton to break the window. The nail salon, by the way, wasn't even supposed to be open because it's in lockdown mode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nothing's that serious to put your child in danger. Sometimes the mentality, man.
I'm glad that they found them while they're 3 and newborn. Because either she needs big-time parenting classes. Oh, so I did a little bit of lookup on Facebook. This is the funny part about it, right? So Keontae Moody here has a sister or a family member named Keena Moody. And Keena Moody, for a birthday, she needs to get parenting advice from her family member. Because for her birthday, she actually did, Keena Moody donated to her friend's birthday fundraiser for Baltimore Child Abuse Center. So maybe she needs to listen to her friend. You know what I'm saying?
We all got that one person in our family. We're like, I
do.
Know you. I'm not related to you.
I do. Yeah. Chris Rock used to talk about the creepy uncle. Don't you dare go near your creepy uncle. And then they're looking for him like, oh my God, you went around creepy uncle. Just walk it off. Hurt stone it, right? You know, like you got raped or something. I'm not saying that's funny. Yeah. Chris Rock did it funny.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm like Michael Scott on The Office trying to redo Chris Rock. It's just not as funny. Yeah. Rest assured, though, Wyoming strip clubs reopens with mask on. It's closed off party. So, to all the ladies just trying to pay for college, guess what? They get to pay for their own college again. They said, quote, "This is the risk we're taking," said owner Kim Chavez of Friday's reopening of the Den in Cheyenne, Wyoming, according to USA Today. As part of the reopening, all the strippers sported face coverings to dance, and there was ample hand sanitizer available. Listen,
they build them like that in Wyoming. I need to take a trip to Wyoming,
dude. You go to these strippers that was shown on these screens. You need more than hand sanitizer. You need Jesus. You need Jesus, and you need like antibiotics and
everything.
You need everything.
Chlamydia. Forget COVID. You will have everything else but COVID at that point.
Well, the good news is that they have masks on. You know, usually they're like, man, you got to turn the lights down lower, right? So you don't see like, I don't know, stretch marks or something. But now they even have the mask on, so they even look a little better. So, yeah, I think if you go to this strip club or any strip club, really, you need more than hand sanitizer. All right. This irritates me, man. Okay, so when Ocean City, Maryland can finally open up, it's a win, right? They're thinking they're going to open up around Memorial Day. This bar unveils social distancing tube for drinkers. And what it looks like is it looks like a big inner tube with wheels on the bottom. So you're basically in a child walker. You're basically in a baby walker for adults. Maryland Bar unveiled an innovative solution, they call it innovative, to help patrons remain socially distant when it fully reopens. Inner tubes on wheels. Fishtails in Ocean City, Maryland rolled out new social distancing tables. So they're like tubes of tables. And so that way you don't get close to anybody.
Apparently whoever made that's never been drunk. Try getting out of that drunk.
I didn't even think about that.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Secondly, what if like you're on a date? You got to stay 6 feet away from your own date.
Maybe they have date tubes. You
know, I'm gonna get that for my kids. Like, yeah, you can go on a date, but I'm gonna drop you off there and put you guys each in a tube, and that's as close as you can get to my daughters, right?
That'll stop a lot of dating really fast.
You're like, Dad, hey, at least you're in his presence, right? Final story of the night. This shopper wears a homemade coronavirus hazmat suit in Target. He like pieced it all together. I mean, this guy's got like electrical tape and all types of tape, duct tape, this whole plastic thing around. You know what he did? He forgot to cover his hands though. His hands are bare.
The most important part, right?
Well, the CDC does say that masks are more important now, but apparently, I don't know. I think that they're both. Oh man, everybody's saying, yeah, Kathleen and Whitley thinking a lot alike. They said, hey, I could see this may be good for some hardcore drinkers. Kathleen says drunk bumper cars, and so did Whitley. Have you seen anybody wear anything crazy at Target or Walmart yet?
Other than somebody wearing a Black Panther mask, and not a real mask, the plastic toy Black Panther mask.
Oh, really?
It's a toy, you know. Yeah, it's like it's a mask, but it's not really going to do much for you because it has an open vent right there in the front. So it's like nothing really crazy.
I mean, technically here in West Virginia, we're a free state. Okay, so if you're in Pennsylvania, Maryland, or Virginia, come on up. We'll have you. We still have guns. We don't have Democrats. I mean, we do, but they're rare. We can golf with golf carts. Supposedly, we're supposed to have a face covering, but they're not enforcing it. What they are enforcing is the workers actually having them, the workers, but that's it. I mean, so we haven't had to go through these drastic extremes yet. Still, a lot of people wear them. I don't. I just figure, hey, if I get it, I get it, or I probably already got it. I think we've discussed this many times. You've probably been sick like 3 months ago, didn't know what it was. Yeah. I mean, unless he has the virus, and yeah. Dude, there was one person walking into Walmart today, and I stopped by, and this guy had like a colostomy bag, and I mean like oxygen. I'm like, that's the one dude that should not be out right now. He needs to be home. I almost felt bad, like, hey, yo, dude, I'll buy your stuff and deliver it to you. Please don't go into Walmart. Of all places, do not go into Walmart. Walmart is filthy, nasty, dirty. Please, sir, don't go in there. And he went in. I didn't beg him. I should have. It would have been the good Christian thing to do, but I didn't. Hey, thanks for watching the show tonight. We will see you tomorrow night with Gabriel. Gabriel Martinez is our guest on tomorrow night. And I think it's just him, unless you want to be on, Jasper, you can. And we will be going over tomorrow's topics. Oh, I think I have Natalie on. That's who I have, Natalie and Gabriel on. So you will get that liberal perspective. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. Spread the word. We appreciate all your support. Thanks for coming tonight, Jasper.
All right. See y'all later.
All right. See ya.
This has been Nightcaps with Nate. Please join Nate for a nightcap every weeknight at 9 Eastern here on Facebook Live.
Peace.